In this video, I would like to talk about Swift language and why it's important to bring it to the server market and what IBM is doing there. First, why Swift? Swift is fast, modern, safe, and interactive. Fast because it's built on LLVM compiler technology, so it is being transformed to native code for the target platform. Also, the standard libraries and the runtime environment is tuned for any target platforms, whether it's a mobile platform or on a server running on the backend. Swift is also modern because we have built all the good things that have been learned through C and Objective-C over the years. Inferred types make code very clean and less prone to mistakes. It also has automatic memory management, so you don't have to worry about freeing and allocating memory. It has generics. It has native error handling using try, catch, throw. All the good things that you can expect in a modern and cool language. Swift is safe, which is very important for enterprise clients. Variables, for example, are always initialized before use. Arrays and integers are checked for overflow. And memory is managed automatically with a fast garbage collector. And finally, Swift is interactive, which makes it very fun to use and very fast to develop with. Whether you're developing in Xcode or trying Swift on IBM Sandbox on the web, you can always run your snippets of code right away and see what is the output. So as you are developing the application, you are seeing the output on the right side, and this is a fun way of incrementally building your application. The Swift ecosystem has been evolving over the last couple of years. In spite of the fact that this language is very young, it has been evolved very quickly. Apple introduced Swift in 2014. And a year later, they announced that it will open source Swift. And they fulfilled their promise by giving Swift to the open source community in December 2015. At the same time, IBM introduced the beta version of Swift Sandbox. And 2 months later, they declared their commitment to bring Swift to the cloud, to radically simplifying end-to-end development of apps. Over the last 2 years, Swift popularity has been evolving very quickly. So according to RedMonk, Swift was growing faster than anything else they were tracking in 2015. And a year later, they reported that the ranking of Swift is about 17 out of overall language, in spite of the fact that this is less than 2 years old language. Early in 2016, Stack Overflow survey reported that Swift is the second most loved language, which is very important to know for a language that's less than 2 years old. The ecosystem around Swift has also been evolving, so in addition to IBM Sandbox, there were other cloud infrastructures built around it. For example, in 2015, Perfect.org introduced a web cloud environment for Swift, in addition to other infrastructures that are being developed. In addition to general conferences, there are Swift-specific conferences and meetups, such as Try Swift and Swift Summit, that reflect the evolution of the Swift development community. So as you can see, Swift is 2 years old, but it is growing very fast, and the potential is great. If you look at the modern application design, start with the end user talking to front-end applications, whether that will be client apps on mobile apps or desktops, or even sensors and Internet of Things. And those front-end apps would talk to the back-end, and the back-end would be on a cloud, public cloud, or private cloud, or on-prem services. And the challenge from development perspective is the fact that the development and technologies for those apps are different. So the skills needed to develop for user-facing client apps are different from the backend. And the backend can be common, or in some cases it's different. You will have skills needed to develop on back-end clouds like Bluemix, and that can be different from private cloud on IBM LinuxONE. And the promise of Swift, or the motivation for enterprises using Swift, is really to have a common pool of skill that you will share the same technology, the same skills across your application development. So whether you are developing on the front end, you can be using Swift. You are developing on public cloud like Bluemix, you can be using Swift, or even if you are developing on the back end on IBM LinuxONE, you can also using Swift, which simplifies end-to-end development. And the other aspect is you will be opening those backends to 13 million developers that are reported to be working on Apple platforms as of 2016, which makes it very simple and very much easier to gain skills and share skills within the same enterprise. So in summary, I would like to leave you with the fact that IBM is trying to bring Swift to be a first-class citizen on the server platform, which means IBM is bringing Swift to the cloud and server platform to radically simplifying end-to-end development of apps, to make it easy for the enterprise to use the same language across all platforms. And our promise is built on our success from previous experiences. So as IBM was involved in the evolution of Java and making sure it is really successful in all platforms, IBM is also doing the same commitment and the same involvement in the evolution of Swift to make sure it is first-class citizen in the server platforms. With that, I encourage you to visit the IBM Swift Developer Center and try different tools that we have, and try IBM Sandbox for Swift, and give us feedback. Thank you.